People often say that everything happens for a reason. But most people hear those words only when life is breaking them. One day, in a quiet forest, a young man walked with heavy steps. His face looked dull, his shirt was dirty, and his eyes were swollen as if he had cried the whole night. He reached a huge banyan tree where an old monk sat peacefully, eyes half closed, breathing calmly. The monk looked at him and asked, "Why are you carrying so much pain?" The young man collapsed on the ground. "Everything I had is gone," he said with a shaking voice. "Robbers stole my bag, all my money, everything. I don't even know how to go home. Why is life so unfair? I didn't harm anyone." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "People say bad times give lessons," he said bitterly. "But what lesson is this?" The monk listened quietly. "Let me explain something through a story," the monk said gently. "Because right now, you can only see the pain, not the purpose." The young man nodded weakly. "Many years ago," the monk began, "there lived a skilled sculptor in a small village. He was not rich, but everyone respected his talent. One morning, a royal messenger arrived at his door. "The king has chosen you," the messenger said. "You must make a golden statue within 10 days." The sculptor's heart filled with pride. This opportunity could change his entire life. He sold some belongings, bought gold, clay, and tools, and began working day and night. He barely slept, barely ate, and spent every second shaping the statue. After 9 long days, the golden statue was complete. It shone beautifully in the light. The sculptor whispered, "My life will change tomorrow." But that night, a violent storm swept the village. Winds roared, trees crashed, lightning struck. Suddenly, the sculptor heard a loud crash. He ran to his workshop and froze. The roof had collapsed. The golden statue he created with so much effort lay on the floor, broken into pieces. He fell to his knees, touching the shattered parts with trembling fingers. "My dream, my future," he whispered. "It's gone." He cried all night. Not because he lost the statue, but because he felt he had lost the only chance life had ever given him. For days, he locked himself inside his house, unable to face the world. A few days later, he heard shocking news. The cart carrying other artisans and their statues to the palace had fallen into a ravine. The old wooden bridge had collapsed due to the heavy rain. Several artisans were seriously injured. Some might never work again. The sculptor stood speechless. If his golden statue had survived the storm, he would have placed it on that cart. And he would have been on that bridge. At the exact moment it collapsed. His dream was not destroyed. His life was saved. The sculptor sat quietly that evening, whispering, "So that storm, that loss, protected me." For the first time since the tragedy, he felt peace. He bought a simple stone and started sculpting again, not out of desperation, but with calmness. Weeks later, he finished a beautiful statue carved from stone, shaped by patience and understanding. It became his greatest creation. People from nearby towns came to see it. Orders increased. His name spread widely. He often told people, "If the golden statue had reached the palace, I would have been on that bridge. And I wouldn't be alive today." That loss was not punishment. It was protection. The monk finished the story and looked at the young man. "Your situation also feels like punishment," the monk said. "But you don't know what it might be protecting you from." The young man shook his head. "But in my case," he said, "everything was stolen. What good can come from that?" The monk smiled slightly. "Come closer." Under the roots of the banyan tree, something faintly glowing was half buried in the soil. The monk dug it out and placed it in the young man's palm. It was a small shining gem, warm, bright, and strangely comforting. "What is this?" the young man whispered. "This is a seeker's stone," the monk said. It appears only to those who have lost everything. Because only empty hands can hold new beginnings. The young man stared at the gem. If I hadn't lost my bag, if I hadn't come to this forest, I would never have found this stone, he murmured. The monk nodded. Exactly. You see only the loss. You don't see the path it is clearing for you. Then the monk added firmly. You lost money, yes. But maybe you were saved from a bigger danger. Maybe the journey you planned would have taken you into trouble. Maybe a painful path was cut off before you could step into it. Or maybe this loss is pushing you towards something new. Something important. Something you would not have found otherwise. The young man breathed deeply. His heartbeat softened. But why does life have to be so harsh, he asked. The monk replied. Because sometimes only pain can break open a new direction. Only loss can force you to leave the wrong path. Only emptiness can make space for something true. The forest grew silent. Leaves rustled. The air felt lighter. The monk continued. You may not see the reason today. But one day you will look back and say, if that incident had not happened, I would never have found this better path. The young man closed his eyes. He felt something shift inside him. Not joy, but understanding. Not excitement, but acceptance. He held the glowing gem tightly and whispered. Maybe this loss is not the end. Maybe it's the beginning of something new. The young man walked out of the forest holding the glowing gem. His pockets were still empty, his problems were still real. But his heart was no longer drowning. For the first time, he understood something he had never considered. Life is not always taking things away. Sometimes it is removing what would have hurt you later. Sometimes it is closing a door you were never meant to enter. Sometimes it is pushing you, hard, only to move you toward a safer, wiser, better direction. He looked back at the monk and whispered. Maybe losing everything saved me from something I cannot see yet. And that single thought changed everything. He didn't get back his money. He didn't get back his bag. But he got something far more powerful. Clarity, strength. And a new beginning that only loss could create. Sometimes, life takes away something. Not to hurt you. But to protect you. Or to redirect you towards something better. Not every loss is a punishment. Not every failure is a fall. Not every ending is destruction. Life removes people, things, and opportunities. Because they were not meant to stay. Or because something better is quietly waiting ahead. When everything seems to collapse. When every plan fails. When every door shuts. Remember this. Life is not always breaking you. Sometimes it is saving you from a danger you don't see. And guiding you toward a future you don't yet understand.